Okay guys, so today I am going to show you how I would edit and extend a background in a situation where I just didn't have enough background. So we're going to use this image as a start, and this is what we're going to end up with. So I've already gone ahead and edited some of my basic edits, decrease the highlights, increase the shadows, whites, blacks, probably worked on my white balance. Let's actually see. So it went from that to that. So once you get like your basic edits done, you're going to go to Edit, Edit in Photoshop. And it's just gonna load. Okay, so once you're in Photoshop, the first thing I always do is duplicate my background by hitting Command J, or you can simply drag your background down to this extra one and get a background. So all I need is one here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and clean up the image. I'm going to go to my spot healing brush tool. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to take care of all these little guys here. And sometimes this tool works really well, other times not so much. There we go. Let's see, that didn't work so well. So what I'm going to do now is try my clone tool. Increase the size just a bit. Clone. Yep. Clone. There's something going on right there. Okay. Looks pretty good. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flatten it, and that kind of makes all those edits then done. I'm going to duplicate the background again by hitting Command J. So there's a couple ways you can do this. So the first thing I want to do now, before I actually get to the extending part, is I want to go ahead and crop just a bit. Actually, I want to move this like that a little bit because I do want this along this grid line, about right there. So I'm going to click that, click OK or Enter. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try a couple techniques and we'll see how it is. I don't honestly remember exactly how I did it a while back, but I'm going to click my marquee tool or my quick selection tool, and I'm just going to drag this along all of this like carpeted area, and I'm going to drag it up here and finish selecting all this area. And I'm going to go to, you can't see this, but it's Edit, Fill, Content Aware. So what that's going to do is it's going to look around your image for some ideas on what it thinks it should do. So we're going to see how well it does. Sometimes it doesn't do so well. All right, so that's not a bad start. I think I'll keep that. And what I'm going to end up doing is just filling in, let's see, I'm going to go back to my clone tool. And so I'm going to just sort of work on this a little bit. So I'm going to clone right here. Just do a little bit of that. And I'm going to work on this line here. Clone that. Now I'm going to get this blue part out. So I'm going to go ahead and clone out right there. And then I'm going to clone here. So all I'm doing is selecting the areas I want it to sort of mimic. And then with this area, I'm going to clone from up there. We'll see how it looks. Filling it in. All right, so that's looking pretty good, but you can see that there's like a color difference between these two areas. So what I'm going to try to do is a couple of things. First, I'm going to let's see. First, I'm actually going to take my clone tool and make it really big and keep it soft. And actually, I'm going to probably bring that down just a bit. And I'm going to bring it really soft and just clone over this area. See how that's already lightening it up? Actually, that did a pretty good job. All right, so that's actually pretty good. I would probably go in and fix some of this coloration issue, and one way I do that, I've been using this trick a lot lately. So I'm going to increase my brush. I'm going to switch this mode to color because I do see just some color differences, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my color here, and I'm going to actually decrease the opacity and just paint on. See how that's already starting to look better color-wise? So I'm going to sample from over there, and I'm actually going to increase my opacity. Already that's looking really, really good. Maybe a little more. And so what this is doing is just taking the color and it's leaving the texture. So, which is a really great tool, especially if you just want to transfer that color over and not anything else. If I were to do normal mode, so if I were to go back to normal and pick this color, it's just going to paint on really flat. See that? So it's just flat color. So I don't want that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I do see some issue down here with my cloning. Oh, and it looks like there might be some water spots on there. So what I would do is I would just go back in and maybe clean it up a little bit. See about that. I don't know where that water would have came from. And then my clone tool. So sometimes on these edges, you do need to keep an eye out for this like weird thing that happens along edges. So there we go. And you know what, now that I zoom out, sometimes if you zoom out, I do still see like a little bit of lightness here. So what I might end up doing is taking my clone tool, again, very, very big, and I'm going to sample from over here and bring that in over. There we go. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller. Oh, see, sometimes you just have to be really careful where you sample because it's going to pick up edges and see, so it picked up that edge there. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And it's picking up the edge. So what I'm actually going to do is flip my brush around. So it's going to like do a reverse of whatever it is that I'm sampling. And I'm just trying to, there we go. And I'm going to make my brush, sometimes with the bigger brushes, you literally get the best like mixing, like, there we go. Okay guys, so that looks really good. So let's see how we started. So we started with that. We're finished with that. So you would just flatten your image and save it, close it, save it, and it should circle back into Lightroom. There it is. That's it, guys. If you have questions, let me know. Happy to do more.